So one of the things I'll share with you about your magic feet is that they're really meant to be dynamic. I'm going to call, I think I'm going to change the title of the foot mini course I've got there on my website. And we'll change it to dynamic feet. I think it's called well foot right now, but let me change it to dynamic feet because your feet are meant to be not like bricks. Okay. That's why you've got all those joints there. Pull your right foot in and do some of your ankle circles. But the way they were talking in this article, just thinking about the arch of your foot. I think most of, or I'll say how I've always thought about it, if I thought about it at all. Arch of your foot. You've either got an arch of your foot's meant to flatten out and arch, lock and unlock as you walk. You're not meant to have one arch forever stiff like a bridge. The bridge it's a drawbridge, in other words. It opens up and it closes as you walk. When you land, your foot's meant to rotate and flatten out a little bit. And then as you then continue forward to shift your weight, then it locks up and back into the bridge structure to create a lever to push off from a pivot point. So when you put an arch in your foot, in your shoe, you keep it from flattening out, basically. Who knew? So the stiffer your shoe, the all those things, that energy just goes upstream to your knee and your hip. So your foot's meant to rotate, and the rotation of the intrinsic joints of your foot is meant to, like this shoe here, this minimalist shoe, your foot's meant to do this kind of stuff, to arch and do this kind of stuff, to kind of like a spring, actually, right? And if you lock it up, it doesn't spring. It just sends all that vibration up into your joints upstream. So it's like, who thought of that? If your shoe's not letting your foot do this and create the arch and unlock the arch, stuff doesn't work as well. Isn't that crazy? Let's come up to stand next on our beautiful feet. It's like the waves are supposed to go through your foot, almost, of movement, So let's do some ankle tilts next. And this side rotations, lateral rotation that goes through your foot is meant to happen, okay? It's meant to pronate and supinate. It's not just one locked, rigid structure. So do some tilts toward the outer edge of the foot in our different locations, if you remember those. I won't pull it up today, but maybe tomorrow I'll pull that article up and read a paragraph or two from it, a few sentences. The way they describe it's nice. It's meant to be both, your foot's designed to be both fluid, mobile, and rigid at the appropriate time to adapt to the surfaces that you're walking on, unless you only walk on one surface, which is your shoe. Switch to the other foot. Do some different positions of your tilts there. It's fascinating. And this is what I've been practicing with after I read that. I've been practicing with letting my feet, as best as I could, relax as I walk, and thinking, they should be able to relax and release and unlock, as they called it, and lock. So take a few steps forward and backwards, however you want to step, and see if you can just, whatever it means to you, think of, how would I relax my feet and just let them shape in this very complex way. You're probably walking on a flat surface like me, but still, as your weight is shifting, it's dynamic, it's rolling. It's like the surface of of the water, of the Gulf. It's meant to have these waves and shifts and rolls through it. instead of just like a, this is what I was thinking about. If your foot's like this yoga block and it doesn't do anything, it either just does kind of glides along or shifts or does this, it's always in one orientation and it doesn't roll. There's the difference between your shoe and your foot being like this as it walks, or it being like this shoe that moves along and shapes to the ground and lets the forces transfer from front to back and side to side and rotate. And your lower leg's meant to rotate as well like that. And then just come back to your mountain pose. And stand in your mountain pose with your feet relaxed. A lot of times we're squeezing, and it's okay to squeeze the muscles. It's okay to contract them and stuff, but it's also okay to let them relax.